Doesn't bring me any massive joy to say this, but you know what? I think we have to face facts here. If anyone's going to bring it home, it might be the women, all right? So there we go. Someone else who thinks that this as well is a singer, Ella Henderson, who is inspired by the players in and the example they're setting as well for young women. Ella, thank you very, very much. But Ella herself, you can see there, I believe, Ella herself is actually an inspiration. She started obviously on X Factor, and her debut album, Chapter 1, reached #1 in the UK charts as well. The album spawned the chart-topping single Ghost, as well as chart-topping singles Glow, Glitterball and Let's Go Home Together, to name just a few. Just a few absolute classics. Ella, great to have you on the show. She joins me now. Ella, how are you? I must say, this is really surreal, actually. I remember watching on X Factor.
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing? You all right?
I'm all right. Thanks for coming on. So, there's a lot to get stuck into here. So talk to me a bit about the Euros. Why is singer, performer Ella Henderson? Why do you care so much about the Euros? What's going on?
Well, do you know what? I was there from the very beginning of this because I actually had the opportunity to perform for the original draw for the Euros back in October. So to be a part of that from the start, and then again I was invited back to perform the national anthem for the FA Cup final, for the Women's Cup final at Wembley, and that was my first taste of being at a game of women's football, and the atmosphere was just incredible. The crowd was electric, and you know, the way they played was amazing, and I just think there's something really inspiring about it. You know, I'm 26 years old, I have a career in music, and all the time I have a lot of younger fans and a lot of the younger generation looking up to me as a role model, and there's a level of responsibility that comes with that. And you know, I definitely always spur on my fans to dream big, and you know, to never, you know, shut down any kind of like goal of theirs. And I think for the younger generation to see that there now is a future in women's football, and for the younger girls especially to see that, I just think it's really inspiring. I don't think the women on the pitch right now know exactly, you know, the weight that they're carrying right now, and you know, I guess like the light that they're shining for us all. And I think it's really cool. They're playing really well, and it's just, you know, I think it's a really, really encouraging and exciting time to be seeing it, because it's something that didn't exist a few years back.
No, it didn't, and that's a really good point, Alice. So as far as I'm aware, I haven't got any children, but one day I hope that maybe I will. And I think back in the day, I used to think it was, and this is something I don't mind admitting on national television, because it was an unconscious thing. It was a genuinely unconscious thing. I thought, you know, well, if I have a son, you know, I'd like to teach you football and cricket or rugby or whatever. If I have a daughter, then something else. But it never really, and I realise now that that's a really stupid way to think, because of the work that's been done now in women's sport, right? You can take your daughter for a kickabout as well if you really want to, can't you? There's no issue with that. And there has been a big change, Ella, hasn't there? Because, like I said, I don't mind admitting that, because I'll hold my hands up and say that, like I said, it was an unconscious thing. But it was just, there's been a change in the psychology of our society, I think, hasn't there, when it comes to women's sport?
Absolutely. I don't think it matters what gender you are. I think we've got to remember that a sport, especially a sport like football, is one of the most universal sports. And you know, that's probably where I connect to it so much, and want to be an ally for this, because music is the same. Music is just as universal, and anyone can listen to a song and connect to it in an emotional way, and in whatever way, shape, or form they want. And anyone can get a ball and kick it around on the ground and play football. Doesn't matter where you come from, you know, how you was brought up and what gender you are. So I think like it's really, really beautiful to see. And, you know, I even have a young niece she's just turned 8 years old. She's a huge football fan. On every weekend when I go back home, back to Lincolnshire, and I see her, she's always in a football kit. So to introduce her to women's football and let her know that, you know, it is actually a career for women too, and for girls, I think that was something that really blew her mind, and she was really excited about. So just seeing like that, moving the needle for that, I think is really exciting. And I think it's not even necessarily, even though the girls are playing so well right now for us in the Euros, I think they don't realise how much they're setting the standard and the tone for what's to come in years to come for us in women's football.